spare. Damage just being chipped away. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, but nobody has dropped just yet. Now Madden opens his account, breaking the deadlock, and a flurry of Danish kills come into fruition. Zipex with 2. Csgo's all that remains. Nice headshot at range, but no Molotov to deal with the defusal. He has to come out swinging with some Glock headshots. Does connect onto Dupree, but at that range, the USP will shine brighter. Astralis, successful, aggressive components of this Danish lineup. Probably shouldn't refer to them as the Danes. We do have Farlig also on the server. Zen, the Finnish element, starts to spray out through an Ivy. Nothing too significant, though, in terms of damage exchange between him and Glaive. A little bit of a stalemate. Molly's also been tossed down, but this is where the lack of members on Astralis does start to hurt them. They have to give up some key integral choke points. So Main and Pop Dog being pushed simultaneously. Time beginning to get to 30 seconds. Bit of an issue. Farlig with 2 big entries, but there's damage inflicted from Magisk. He can't finish off the kill or deny the bomb plant, and his teammate of Zipex has gone down alongside himself from that man Zen. 1-1, excellent round from Godsent, bouncing straight back in with success.
Yeah, well played force from them. A heavy Ivy control, which seems to be a big part of their gameplay at the moment. Now, something I wanted to mention in the pre-show, but I think we slightly ran out of time, is when it comes to Astralis and upset matches, over the last few months, dating back to, I would say, early September when they lost to Complexity, which I'm calling Complexity an upset, but even that's a bit of a stretch. The only teams they've lost to are Na'Vi, G2, Heroic, and Vitality. Arguably some of the top teams in the world. I think G2 maybe not right at the top in terms of ranking, but in terms of their ability to upset, now they just need to show, okay, we can now go and win ourselves some tournaments again.
Zipex, nice. Quick deagle. Dupree goes unchecked, but can't make the most of it. And that whiff will certainly cost them the round. Well, I've said that, but Device is still alive. Has been up there. Mr. Consistent, one of the best players for a number of years. Able to land some more shots, but Emmy will survive on about 50. And this is where the other Godsent members will start to move into position there that still aren't completely sold that they are the best team in the world. If they can come out here and win Masters comfortably, they may turn some heads again.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of teams are almost in the bracket of, like when we spoke to Stown earlier, like, I want to play Astralis again. Because at this point, there's people doubting us because there are teams like Astralis who still are going to come back into the LAN period at least. Dupree somehow has managed to get himself 2 kills with the USP, making this one a little bit more costly than I'm sure Godsent would like. Now, for me in this matchup so far, they've got off to a strong start, but now the weapons come into play, Vince, and that's where this becomes a different ballgame. However, for Madden, he's managed to get very far without being spotted and actually gets rid of Dupree.
He is that X-Factor in the process. Glaive trying to make moves up the side. No one's watching this from the tees, but it only cost them 1 life. And that could be the moment that finalizes this round, or perhaps not. Zipex and Dupree come back again for more kills. Farlig goes walkies, and this tandem that you see so often in CS. Glaive speaking.
Farlig's going to start things off well. Glaive's still in position, but he's desperately low. However, he springs.
Just allows him to perform better and have more clarity. Great flashbang. Glaive supporting him with Dupree, who goes in, gets himself the frag. Madden getting tagged down from a molly and also the HE, but it's the AWP of Magisk who picks it up to be played, which for me is, it's either neck and neck or maybe slightly less difficult, but it's a very hard side to make work. Both AWPs though chime in as 2 pistol frags came into effect from both Emmy and Csgo. Madden snuck around the back of Dupree, and now still alive on full HP. If Magisk's not careful, he may lose his life, but he holds his ground. Not faring too much better in this round, even with the hero AK. Proving there will be no fairy tale ending in round 10. Grenade deployed perfectly. Shrapnel finishes off onto Farlig. Csgo at least has an M4 in his hands, so maybe he can make something happen here, but it does feel like we're getting to that point where best they can really hope for is a bit of damage limitation here, Tom, because they should be shut down the second they get out into the open. Magisk is proving to be quite the capable secondary AWPer. as if we didn't already know that. And there's Device with the primary Zen. Close down Glaive. Yeah, this is huge. You can see the impact it has. 4 players now just stuck on the side of A. The flashbang, we've already seen this come in a couple of times. Last time it was Glaive flashing in for dupreeh, but dupreeh doesn't mind being the assister. He tosses in the flash. Zen can walk out onto Ivy. They just got to pick there for Magisk. And Madden, you spoke about how he can use the MAC-10. He trades up. He misses his shot. He's about to get...
And as of yet, we're starting to, well, worry, I guess you could say. Eventually, though, Glaive is going to get overwhelmed. And I have been liking how aggressive he
then has no reason to peek. He can play the close angle. He can force Device into an awkward position. And even though Device is struck once, does he expect Zen to be on the close angle? Hell no. Zen comes out with his Tech 9 and dispatches Device 2-on-2. They know roughly where Madden is. He's already struck once in this round. And so they've got their crosshair across to the position. But all of the pressure has now got to go across to Astralis. They have to retake the site. Zen misses out his shot with the AWP, comes out into the open, sideswipes onto Zipex, and now it falls upon Dupex, is getting flashed out, has to relocate. Damage inflicted with the M4, but Emmy comes out in ahead. Magisk, who was aimed in and would have had him dead to rights, unscoped at the very second he crossed over. That's unfortunate timing, which may cost them so dearly. Glaive, though, at least watching the back of Magisk, as all 3 of them culminate together and look to push back on the site. But look, there's 2 Molotovs, and there's no smokes in play for the Danes, even if they get onto the site. And that's a big query still. They have to contend with a Molotov of Farlig. They've got to put that pressure down now. Farlig peeks out with the AWP. He misses his shot, but now he can line up the Molly. Molly tossed in. Tech 9 switched across to make him more mobile. He can get up close and personal. Coming down towards the ramp. Has heard no smoke and no defuse on the site. Either of them have a kit. They're going to have to stick on this. They picked up the kit, so they're going to have the defuse after all. And it's going to be heartbreak for Farlig.
And he got the opening pick in the round, like... Maybe in-game leading wasn't for him after all. He's meant to be the star. Device, however, might have a few questions and queries about that one. He may have failed to get the #1 player in the world a few times, but there's no doubt that he is the crown jewel of this Astralis team.
When you talk about consistently towards the top end of CS, there's no one really that can say they have the longevity of a player like Device. He's been around that level for so long. Mr. Dependable. He's not necessarily been their top player in this game. You've already highlighted Glaive, but Magisk, for me, has actually outshone him with the AWP. The secondary AWP, the IGL of Magisk, just putting down the pain and misery around this Ivy position. Farlig, a bullet away from his demise. Joined by Madden and Zen, and once they've slowed things down, Madden doesn't seem to have had that layer of impact that we saw earlier on. And maybe this is where the point that you raised, Tom, about Emmy coming into the forefront, not blaming him at all. He hasn't had enough time to gel with the team. Hasn't had enough time to go through all of their set plays, their plan Bs, their plan Cs. And it seems like they've run out of ideas, ran out of steam. And now they're being vented off by Astralis. 30 seconds. All 5 players remain on the Danish squad. And only Zen
in the past. Here we go, though. Quick push in. Zipex, he's got a hell of a lot of assists. He's been doing damage, but hasn't been getting the frags this time, though. The flashbang leaves Emmy completely blind, and this is a shutdown. Zen will at least pick up 1, and actually Farlig's found another. However, Zen now needs to close this. Their permaban is the next map coming up. This is a must-win for them if they're going to have a chance in this series.
They've waited a long time for this rotation, and already Astralis are getting way too close, but Emmy takes down Device, who is not anticipating that position to show itself. Madden, in the meanwhile, has to try and fend off against Ivy. Post-plant comes in. Good shot from Madden onto dupreeh, and that now gives them another avenue of aggression back onto the site. He can wrap around the T's. This is such an integral play from Madden. It's allowing the rest of the troops to start to culminate through connector, and Madden's not slowing down. It's another headshot to him, and a successful retake for Godsent. Madden, take a bow.
That was nuts. That was just him
with the opening pick. I agree. I mean, I don't think Godsent will feel... Of course, they're not writing themselves off. They won't feel super confident about this. Oh, it's all awkward for Device. He got stuck on the ladder. He couldn't move. And anyone that's played CS knows just how bad your aim gets when you're on the ladder. All over the place. You're never hitting anybody, and Madden stays in position. How is he still alive? How has he not died yet? Finally goes down to Magisk, but he's knocked him down to 30 HP in the process. What the hell, Magisk? Running down the ladder, no scope steak. This stabilized economy, though, can yield more rounds, or if they do start to barrel out, I can anticipate 2 players pushing his location. He isn't fully punished with his life, but he's dropped down low. Xyp9x now holding on, and Emmy survives with 12. GODSENT just by the skin of their teeth, keeping that player advantage intact.
Device trying to sneak his way through. Been having a bit of a rough time, and it's not about to get any better. Farlig will remove him from the round, and now you just look at the HP remaining. dupreeh, he's low. Emmy and Sticker, you mentioned, they're low as well. Magisk being one of the few healthier members. Gonna have to try and do a lot here. Left blind as he looks to try and push down, and Emmy's coming in from behind. He spotted him as well. This is so much information. A free kill for the IGL, leaving just dupreeh, who's also tagged incredibly well. It's left on
off the mark, honestly. It was looking like they were going to get at least 8-7. Suddenly fell into the abyss. But this CT side has proved to be pretty damn impressive. Now, this is an eco by and large, so I somewhat talk over this a little bit. Madden gets a 3K. This is where GODSENT will start to build in that belief.
Glaive, that is not a fantastic nade. He's caught himself completely, but maybe just sacrificing some health to gain a little bit of extra energy. He will take down Emmy. And that's not the start they were looking for. Zen, however, has responded. Xyp9x has not been winning a lot of duels when it comes to this B-side play. Sticko, in fact, it's going to go through. It's just ruined dupreeh on the way past. Device finds a trade at least, but look at the time. They're running out of it. 25 seconds left. Farlig drops
to hold the line as a whole bunch of T's rush towards him, but dupreeh separates himself from the pack. Device at least gets the avenging blow onto Zen with the AWP. And now Farlig takes the initiative. He pushes forward. He wants to shut down his Danish brothers. Device now standing alongside Glaive. It's a 2v4. He's already got one, but Farlig death from above, leaving Glaive to show us just
with the win. GODSENT are winning these cleanly. Farlig $12,000, Zen $10,000, but Sticko, well, he at least is going to have to rebuy going into the next round as the Deagle of Device finds one. Madden, the flash is a little bit late. He'll survive for at least a time, but Xyp9x has found the trade. Emmy retrieving the AWP and going to look to try and use it for himself. But this round is doable now, Vince.
Even more doable than Xyp9x are in the round. They can buy more, but it'll be at the great cost of their finances. That being said, though, Astralis need to make sure they don't get too carried away. Although they will be able to buy even if all 5 die, it's more about the bigger picture that starts to come into fruition. The round is up. Let the grenades and bullets fly. Zen flashed at the back of the site, looking to relocate. If he can get a couple kills, that would be massive for his teammates. It's unlikely he will survive for much longer, but he comes out with that flashbang, takes down Magisk, puts it into a 3v5, and has also stalled the bomb plant. Then goes back in for even more damage, but in the blink of an eye, Glaive and Device tag team each other in for 3 of their own kills. And with 35 seconds to go, it is a 2-on-2, albeit with Glaive on low HP, and a flank coming into effect, and it's Sticko that's now shown his hand. A low health Glaive on 12. Has to try and repel the onslaught from 2 separate angles, but he has the perfect read of the situation. He's done the calculations. He's typed them in. Does he have the correct answer? Hiding on the ladder. 50% of the fuse is ticked away. Molly tossed in to try and draw out one of these angles, and Glaive has snaked his way to the top of the train. There's one to get more grenades. Fast play may be imminent. Flashbang's over, but a well-placed incendiary keeps the T's in position, and Sticko getting the first again. They rush through the fire and the flames, but that's into an early grave. And Magisk is the only player from Astralis that has battled back.
Yeah, and it looks like he might be the only one to do anything. He's gone down. Glaive trying to make a push through the Molotov. It's a miss, though, from Farlig. And this has been the man who's probably been the best player. At least going into the T side especially. Glaive has at least given them some glimmers of hope. Has a chance to take another duel, but he's not going to win it. Madden will close him down unless it's onto the Clutchmeister himself. He's been quiet this game, and he walked. Well, another example of a superb nade, but more of a panic from Zen, and he's been overwhelmed. Look at the utility damage, though. So many players have just been wrecked by the amount of grenades thrown by Godsent. They will get a bomb plant, get themselves into position. This is not a full investment from Astralis. This is an attempt to do a bit of damage, steal a round, a double nade from Emmy as well. Zen, you can see, is already starting to celebrate. I think he knows this round is going their way. It's only Magisk left. 1v4, Deagle in hand towards B. They're going to have to get a move on. 20 seconds, Vince, but Glaive has got them an entry. Madden is here, the rotation's coming, the push comes through, and Glaive has taken this into his own hands. He may not be leading, but he's leading by example as he runs through and gives them a round that maybe never should have been. That bomb was looking sketchy before he did that.
Quite literally leading the charge as well into most of these rounds. As we said, on the CT side, he was incredibly aggressive. This has been the threat. This has been the issue. Now, he's been flashed out. But what does that tell him? It tells him they're getting late.
They're setting up their grenades as they go for the push. It's a missed shot from Csgo, though. That could be enough as Dupree now runs in. Emmy just trying to survive on the site. He knows if he can drop the bomb, that'll be enough to win them the round. Just 10 seconds left. Farlig's dropped another. They hear the bomb being planted, but they're patient. They're waiting. It's all falling apart for Astralis, and Godsent have done it. They have taken the map pick of Train. Not something I necessarily expected to happen. I'm not even sure it's some magic that they've already thrown out, and they might be in for a nasty surprise because it's a fast push. Hugging the close wall has given a lot of space to Astralis and already given them the opener.
Yeah, the opening pick is good, and Csgo and Zen have both been obliterated down to around the 10 HP mark. Madden at least getting one. He had a lot of success in the pistols on Train, but his days are numbered, as are Godsent's, it would seem. Looking to boost up, do get a bit of success, but the smoke is still in play, and Device keeps just putting these speculative shots through there, anticipating that he's about to get peaked, which is the correct assumption. But Dupree is the player that is making all the shots stick, all the shots land, and Device.
We now look to see whether or not they're going to be comfortable here. There's another thing altogether. The pistols so far, though, for Godsent haven't been going so well. A much better start to either map than what we've seen so far for Astralis. And, well, there was only a difference of a few rounds in the last map, so let's not take too many liberties here.
Yeah, I wonder if the things up their sleeve that he was referring to and the changes they've made, as Csgo may very well get some kills, doesn't end up happening for him, were more designated around us. Maybe this is just like a change in the veto. They feel like they're much better, but maybe that is something to watch out for as the tournament progresses on. Magisk straight through the smoke, extinguishing the Molotov, and Zen banishing Magisk back to the bench once more. And it's the first time that Godsent have had really any kind of a stranglehold over any round, and Glaive, while flashed with the UMP, puts it down range onto Zen. Madden stuck in no man's land and has now been put out of his misery. Astralis can get onto the bomb. They've got the successful plant down, but this time Godsent have weapons, and it's a 3-on-3.
Even still, this B site retake is one that arguably one of the toughest in the game, and wow, Zipix.
Oh, because Madden's seen him. Look at Madden's eyes, they were wide. He knew that Glaive was there. He's like, where is he? Where's he hiding?
The man has wallhack in his eyes. That's basically what I've just learned out. He spreads them a little bit wider, and he somehow knows that Glaive is there. I don't know if they bumped into each other in the smoke. Maybe that was it, but he's got a rifle. Quick pick, spots that. Someone needed to fall, and while Farlig goes back for more just to make sure the prophecy comes true.
Pretty wild that neither player even landed a leg shot, just straight up both missed. See that again in slow motion to fully decipher what the hell happened. Emmy, though, taking the initiative, playing aggressive on Catwalk, is sick and tired of being pushed and bullied around from the Danes on Astralis. Takes matters into his own hands. And now Zen is peering down middle, flick on to Dupree towards the entrance, is maybe thinking about trying to push through, but took a bit of nade damage. That's put him off, and Dupree sprays down onto Farlig, loses his life needlessly, and that gives Astralis another step back into the round, and maybe they can just bring Godsent down to their knees instantly. They're not going to be playing slowly any longer. They pick up the pace. Dupree picks up the headshot, as does Glaive, and the Godsent defense has fallen once again.
They are looking very good and confident on this map. Like, Dupree especially, a player that when he gets going, you don't win. That's it. That's GG. If your star entry frag is performing well, that's the thing that sort of interested me about Train so much is that, I don't know if you agree, if it's alarm bell, somebody can go spam into the bell on Inferno and start dinging away, because they've got everybody here. If they don't manage to win this round, then I think it's going to be an absolute slaughter, and it isn't looking too good. The nade comes through, but Stickle goes down, and they trade not even evenly. They get an advantage in this situation. You're not retaking this B site, Godsent. You need a miracle, you need a mistake. And unfortunately, as said, the 2 top fraggers from the last map are now looking at the 2 bottom fraggers of this map. Of course, it doesn't work like that. You're not just going to be able to bring everything over, but more so for Farlig, we needed to see that star potential of the Danish Orpa, and thus far, well, there have been 5 Danes doing pretty well. Unfortunately for Godsent, it's not the one they purchased.
And just while Godsent go back to save, and obviously Astralis will extend their lead to 8-1, what a great problem it is to have as well, Tom, where you're deciding who the most aggressive player and who the entry frag on your team should be. Like, that really is a fantastic round, because right now they're giving up way too much real estate, and Astralis are just waltzing in. This must feel like almost a pug to them, you know? It's just been so straightforward. Emmy, at least, is going to put down a bit of damage, but felt compelled to go back in. Understandably, he was stuck down in ramp. He knew grenades were going to be flung his way. But I'd like to see them dictate the pace with some aggressive plays. Like, if you're going to go out, at least go out on your own terms. Don't let Astralis basically bully you into submission, and that's what it feels like right now, Tom. This is kind of brutal to watch, if I'm being honest, and after a great Train performance, it would be
They shouldn't be. If they are, I would be blown away and almost start calling it a honeymoon period. Oh my god. Come on, Device. Like, I know that they took a map off you, but give them a chance. At least allow them to last past the 10-second marker in the round. That was a ridiculous shot. But yeah, they shouldn't be ready for this task yet. They changed in-game leaders and have played 1 series. Oh. Madden. It's awkward. He's being spotted from afar as well. A lot of damage being done across the board. Dupree low. Farlig, of course, gone. Zen tagged, and Madden is not exactly healthy. In fact, it's going to get a little bit worse. In fact, he's going to be pushed. Device, this is cruel. He's even given up the AWP. Dupree being low, he hands it off and then continues to fight with the rifle. Godsent again down to just 3 men, or, well, 2 and a bit. Dicko, he doesn't even have any armor. This fight is not a particularly good one for Godsent.
No, especially as they're already trailing by 2 players. Device really stepping it up since that Train performance, mainly with the AK. Now Emmy, who's been in ramp a number of times, not really had too much success from here. He's stuck in there again. Device is on for the ace. Already a 4K as he rips off the head of Emmy. Stico getting 1. Device now shows up and takes his head.
When Device just decides he's going to kill everyone. There you go, Farlig, though! What is that? That completely caught me off guard. He's not even broken a smile. He's just degged 3 players in a matter of seconds. A man who's basically done nothing so far in this map has just exploded onto the server.
And that's what we were talking about. Unshackle yourself, go for aggressive plays, dictate the pace of the action, and what do you know? You've carved out a few headshots. Of course, it's not a play that you can rinse and repeat every single round. But you kind of make these lucky moments. Not that that was luck by any stretch from Farlig, but the fact that he got away with rattling off 3 shots without being counted on, you make that by forcing it, by implying that you may push through middle at the same time, divide and conquer Astralis, knock them off kilter. They've just been on autopilot. Like, nothing's been difficult for those guys so far. Those are the kind of plays we were talking about. And now Godsent can try and rummage around the back of them. Astralis assume there's some players on the A site, whether it be Goose, whether it be backside or ramp, positions that Godsent have played in numerous times. May not expect a fast rotation from 2 players, but they do have a smoke for it. So even though Farlig has just pulled off a miracle play, this actually is still very winnable for Device and Magisk. And keep in mind that Device is already on 14 frags, and we're only into the 12th round. And he could be adding a bunch more to that tally. Stico, Farlig, both low, and Magisk takes them both down, spins across and saves the round. potential, a lot of skill, and give Emmy more time, and maybe they can be something special. GODSENT, though, putting up a fair fight with Farlig getting 2. He's really came alive these last couple of rounds. That last Eagle play didn't yield the round, courtesy of Magisk and Device. And this time it's Device again with the AWP through the box onto Madden. Zed will have to rely on a jump shot, you feel, if he's going to get a kill from here, but decides against it, and Device goes for the peak. He's picked up another 2. Csgo just has to save the AK.
Playing at almost full capacity, it seems. This is very impressive from Farlig as well. It seems like he's just looking to take the map into his own hands, and you know what? He's got another opener.
Yeah, and this really is going off the back of what we were hoping to see more of, is these kind of throw it into the wind plays, you know, just go out swinging, hoping for the best. Dupree will bag himself Csgo on the site, who was the last line of defense on the site itself, but Emmy at least locking it down on long. Madden toying with the idea of pushing through the smoke, knows somebody's in there. He tried to move through, and now trajectory of that flashbang will definitely give it up, but it's only an MP9. If he had an M4, maybe it was a doable, but at range, Zen is going to put his SMG to use, and that puts Device in a 1v2 on 13 HP. Now, they don't have any grenades or smokes to flush him out, and the bomb is planted for his position. Device is clutched so many times from situations like this, but Zen with the wide swing and the AK picks up a 3rd kill and picks up a 2nd round.
Dope. The 2 players alive are the 2 players that have been in clutch situations many times before. The Incendiary will hold them back, and actually the full force of GODSENT is starting to converge on this B site. They've been locked into the tunnels. You can see that Sticko's in a good position, and Emmy, a bit of a risk, but he still just patiently waits for the remaining players to know he has support, and Zen is already going to put one of them in the grave. Magisk, bored. You're meant to be Big V, come on.
You can be Big T and I'll be Toxic Ball from now on. There we go.
Well, already it is looking like the beginning of the end. The pistol round's gone very far in favor of Astralis already. 2 kills coming up, Dupree and Glaive combining. Csgo, he's got to be careful here because Glaive is still lurking in the corner towards long. An irritating position to clear. He rounds it, and oh, he's going to get a shot off, but that will be all a double up. While leaving it onto Madden and Zen, no utility left to try and get anything done. They're just going to have to out-aim Astralis, which they managed to do on map.
The fast push, fast play. They have utility as well. All players have smokes, so they can throw a ton of these out, but it could end up being an over-investment that doesn't really pay off at all. No dividends will be firing their way. It's just grenades and bullets. And nades bouncing and banking off the wall, landing into the pocket of Csgo, taking some damage from the hand of Glaive. They've at least brute forced their way up catwalk. And with the scout at this range, maybe they can claim some heads and make something of this round yet. But they also seem like they're stuck in middle to me, Tom. Like they've put in loads of smokes, but they're not really pushed behind it because they're faking it towards B.
Somehow they managed actually to get an opener onto Magic in the window. The rotation is strong though, and with the doors now facing in this direction, it becomes a lot tougher for them to cross. An easy cleanup in the end. There was a pump.
But how is the utility from GODSENT? The grenade perfectly placed and the headshot delivered to perfection. Lots of damage, but Magisk has fallen. And now the CTs decide to push through the smoke. And the MP5 has now worked against Astralis. GODSENT looking good to pick up the round. They have converted from Csgo's scout headshot through middle.
Yeah, it wasn't quite a jumping PP Bison punish, but it was at least using his own gun against him, which is something I like to see. Thankfully, it has been discarded and thrown away, and actually, GODSENT have got themselves a lifeline. As said, it's a bleak situation still. They've got a very, very long way to go. And Dupree's going to make things an extra bit costly. Remove one of those extra guns from play. Although, for GODSENT at this point, they might be able to go and retrieve something a little bit extra. On the other side of things, Glaive just happy to chill out towards long. Not really risking his gun at all. And Madden, I think he's realized that in this sort of scenario, pushing too much further forward could be the loss of his own gun. Although
it's a way for GODSENT to start to string some together and build their confidence up, like you spoke about, that momentum. Get that mentality under wraps, but Dupree's for mass spitting fire at Madden, who's had a bit of a rough go of it, was very impactful on train. really yet to find his mark here on Dust 2. Zen and Glaive, pretty much identical trade. 1 HP difference in it, which will favor Zen. But there's Csgo again showing up when it's needed to be counted with that scout. 3 Molotovs tossed towards the back of the site with HEs designated over on the CT. They do fire a few speculative shots through the smoke, but nothing too significant. But now there's some damage coming in. They look to try and boost over. Dupree coming out worse for wear, but still sprays down. And Glaive goes in on Zen, leaving Csgo with his scout and Farlig's AK on a weakened body alongside it. And there's bullets raining through the car. Scout shot misses the first time, but Csgo connects 2 in a row and puts this round in close proximity. Farlig's gone down. Csgo's on for the ace. He's on for the clutch. He's on for all the accolades. And that's what Godsent require to just hang on by a thread in this game. That's how good Astralis has been. But can Csgo be up to the mark? Misses his chance perhaps, and down he goes.
Is there anything left in the tank for Godsent?
Does seem like fumes are all they have left. Dupree, though, and Glaive, both wide swinging middle, get punished. Lives are deemed forfeit. Magisk up on the window also could have some help from Device, who is on the other side of the smoke, waiting to pierce through there and show his hand. But a Molotov there to greet him. It's well placed. And now Godsent changing up their angles. They're going into tunnel. Could be the final play of the map. We'll see Magisk trade out 1 for 1.
He's gonna find him through the smoke. It's gone from bad to worse, and now Sticko's left in a clutch situation once again. He's gonna take a risk, or so it seemed. A little bit worried that there might be both players around this angle. He knows he needs to try and turn this into a 1v1, but I don't think he's gonna be given the chance. Zipex is waiting back. He should know now that both players are gonna be around this angle, trying to bait them in, but there's plenty of time, and for Astralis, they almost want to know that he's stuck towards this site. The plant coming through. Device even baits him with the footsteps. He's just playing with his opponent here. Sticko trying to mind game Device, but it's just not working. And
Range will be trying to tee off on any of the oncoming aggressors. He has to play a different angle. Goes back against the wall, and Magisk kills him where he stands. 3 kills unanswered before Farlig shows his hand up on top of heaven, and he falls to his death, leaving it all on Zen. But if he's not killed,
because they are that good at this half of Nuke, and they're going to go running in. Emmy actually wins his opening duel. Not bad with the CZ, and actually Zen's caught another one. Maybe they're going to try and throw a spanner in the works. We saw it earlier on from the likes of Contact, and they're going huge. It's left on to Device. You mentioned his flashy plays, Vince. Well, he needs to be as flashy as it gets.
Oh, he needs to be flashy enough to blind all the oncoming CTs if he's going to have a chance to get out. And he doesn't have a flashbang to do it. Runs out of ammunition, lucky to still be alive, but it's at the cost of so much HP. And Madden finishes off, but Dupree's aggression is paid off. Incline with a headshot. Magisk tagged and then finished off. Glaive, meanwhile, puts a bullet down range and connects onto the head of Madden. And Sticko switches from his...
Historically was a lunatic on this map. He used to try and get into the vents almost every single round. Like, that was his goal on the T side, was just continue to push, continue to be irritating, and basically get behind them. Now, I expect a team like Astralis to be able to shut that down. But so far, it's been their CT side, if anything, that has been the more aggressive of the two. The farming going well, though, with man down, but it seems like Godsent might have got this slightly wrong. The rotation comes in from Sticko, but he loses the duel. And with only 15 seconds left, it could have been crucial. Farlig misses as well. They had chances in this round, but it's all fallen apart as only 2 remain.
And those are the kind of missed opportunities that can really start to stack up and cost you maps and cost you matches. You saw Sticko's reaction straight away. He was so angry with himself. But the fact that Farlig then dies to Glaive as well afterwards is kind of insane. Like, there was only 15 or so seconds left. If Farlig connects onto Glaive, that could just sum up the round. At the very least, it puts Astralis into a really awkward position, like a 3-on-3 engage, that can go either way. And so even though Godsent will concede this round, I honestly feel like there's a very good chance of this being a 4-1.
He just goes running down the ramp and entries into 2 players. He does it again. If he doesn't get those 2 kills, there's 15 seconds left, they lose the round. It's almost like an old style, like Pronax style of Fnatic, where you just have the individuals that are good enough to make any call work, no matter how late the round is. And, well, we talk about legendary rosters, I think both of those rosters come into play. Zen, he's going to utilize his smoke to take some control back, but he loses the fight to Device, and his aggression is punished. The man advantage gained by Farlig is quickly gone.
Yeah, after getting the opening pick outside for Farlig, he had another shot around red containers, missed out, and Glaive punished him alongside Device. Another one of those rounds that was incredibly close to falling in Godsent's favor, and it may still yet. They still have 3 players, and they decide to push together as a united force. They're all coming up through secret, trying to get round the back of the teams. The spray is good. It yields the kill to Madden, and there's Emmy picking up the slack onto Glaive, who clearly did not anticipate 2 players to face off against him at the same time. And the bomb's also been dropped down. Someone from Astralis has to go pick that up with 30 seconds to spare, and they find themselves a player behind. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe this still will go the way of Astralis. Or maybe Dupree pulls this out the fire. Device switches weapons at the worst possible moments that we really didn't see on Dust 2, Tom. It felt like there was no second wind, no second idea in place, but already on Nuke we're seeing they are capable of mixing it up on a dime and really throwing Astralis through a loop. Emmy's up close now, different angle, haven't really played this so far. With an AK, crosshair placement towards head height. If Dupree goes peeking around the corner, he may be a dead man, but if Emmy gets antsy and he decides to push, it will cost him. And even though the flash was good, Dupree just stood in position, waited, bided his time, and finished off the aggression. And that's the kind of mid-round call that actually can cost you rounds, Tom. We've seen both sides of the spectrum now.
A risk taken. But again, look at the clock. 35 seconds, and there's a lot still to be claimed, if anything, by Astralis if they are going to make this move. A peek in towards A, as it looks to be the final place they look to plant the bomb, although instead they switch it up late. Csgo about to come under pressure. 20 seconds. If he can deny them, the flashbang might slow them down enough that he can get back into a position to deny the plant. Still a bit of confusion from the rest of the players. And again, how do they keep pulling out these rounds? With 10 seconds, they waltz in. Smokes again, but Device is about to go walking into Zen, who's patiently waiting for him this time. Madden also looking to get up close. Does like to try and push these smokes occasionally, but more importantly, Magisk finds the trade. Stops any more shenanigans on outside. And more importantly, they've got this control for free. There's nobody there to challenge them anymore. So you have to hope, for Godsent's sake, they are prepared for somebody to push from above.
Yeah, you'd certainly think that would be the case, and it seems like it's Emmy that has the right idea, but so does Dupree. He has read the script. He's a couple pages ahead of Emmy, and you definitely don't envy Emmy's position there. Stuck on the site alone, knowing he had to watch multiple angles. Farlig, though, comes out with one. Nearly a second. Zipex has been dropped to 4 HP. And Csgo, who is thinking of making moves into heaven, now has to bypass that a little bit longer. Pop flash from Madden. That's definitely the rough edge of the over-aggression that you see from him.
Oh, they're changing the pace. I like the idea. They've had a few slower rounds, but it seems like Emmy's prepared. Even still, though, a couple of trades come back in. Keeping this one possible. We've seen some crazy clutch situations in the last map, 2v4 that started so well, but actually, Zen finds a kill straight onto Magisk. He wasn't the intended target, but I don't think he's going to care. Glaive, he actually gets tagged. That's so much information over. They know roughly where he's going at this point. The only problem I have, Vince, no kits.
Yeah, but I feel like that problem may get bypassed, although Glaive may have an idea of where the bomb's...
Takes a further push around. It's a lot of map control game, but I guess you could say for either side. Csgo finds another pick. Magisk tries to push into position, eventually gets rid of him after the double on opposite sides of the map. However, again, control's been taken, but the Danish Battle of Orpers is won by the side of Farlig this time. The trade comes back for Farlig going strong, and it's left all onto Magisk. A 1v3 situation, looking to try and clutch this out. The first shot's not connected, and that might be his doom. He nails the shot, but actually, it's that flashbang throw. Farlig, though, should be able to get this pick. He takes a very aggressive stance and doesn't actually have any support from Csgo. Even the pre-fire isn't enough. The double team of Dupree and Device is there to Csgo, who's been the main problem for them getting further forward. This time it's falling, and he doesn't let go of the W key. Glaive maybe showing that the UMP hasn't fallen as far out of fashion as maybe we thought, and Device, he's in such a good spot. It's got to be frustrating at this point for the players of Godsent. It doesn't seem to be a problem for them whatsoever. They actually doubled up on low, though. I like it. Emmy throwing in a bit of spice to the mix, and Zen doing a good job to try and hold the line. The vent dive, it looked like Glaive just insta-headshot whoever was down the bottom. Sticko, probably frustration continues, but the fact is, Glaive, 25 seconds, a 1v3 situation. We'll be waiting patiently for them to round the corner. And
to kick off our third and final map of our final best of 3 of today's proceedings. 8-7 the score. Oh, Madden, that one tap is delicious onto Device. And he just closes the door in style. He's got the pick he was looking for, and now Godsent look to push down ramp to try and make the most of it.
Start they definitely need. They got off to a strong one in the last, although the pistol went the way of Astralis. It was the second round they managed to convert. Zipix, he turns back too in a similar fashion with a headshot, to say the least, and now they're going to look to hunt him down. Madden again, but look at the quick rotation. Magisk, though, he's missing a couple of shots. He had an opportunity to potentially deny. However, now they go for the plant, and Madden plays gatekeeper.
Magisk with his CZ and only 66 HP has to try and somehow bypass all of these obstacles, and considering he has no kit and no nades, I have no idea how he feasibly pulls this off, and I'm not even sure he wants to. I'm not even sure he wants to entertain the idea. Already half of the fuse is gone. Looks like he's going to save instead, and Godsent on Nuke are actually taking Astralis into the murky deep waters. 5-7 of Glaive. Molly's being put down, but the first kill goes the way of Godsent. And now Glaive goes for the wide swing with a 5-7. Actually, just about holds on with the recoil, taking the fin with him. Zipex turns tail, runs back towards the B site where he knows confrontation is looming. That threat is now in his eyes, but it's the grenade at range that bounces off the wall and claims his life. We spoke about how important this round was for Godsent, about how integral this was to breaking Astralis back down, and they seemingly have done it. I don't think Magisk and Device can feasibly get close to the bomb now.
Looking unlikely. Interestingly as well, if you look at the stats for Nuke, looking at them and going, okay, this was a team you were able to beat before when they were well practiced under a different in-game leader. If you're telling me Emmy's been able to change enough to beat them in like a few weeks, I'm scared what he can do in a few months, but more so I start to question whether or not Astralis have lost their touch a little bit.
Oh, there'll be a lot of doubts out there. You know, going into this best of 3, we said that not only would this game need to be won, but the tournament. If they want to silence some of the doubters and the naysayers, the people that say that they're past it, they won't get back to that level that we once saw Astralis at. Now, if they lose the first map against Godsent, I mean, no disrespect to Godsent at all, but if they were, that is brutal. Now, Device has got himself a Zeus kill, but all things considered, it means nothing in terms of how this round is going down. It still will fall underway. It's the bulk of their utility. No more smokes, no more incendiaries. They know there's some plays in Squeaky as Dupree's just spotted a flash tossed out, getting one but traded back. He needs Magisk to stand big, deliver some big kills, but he's only going to be able to get one kill before Device comes in and cleans house with the AWP. Now it's down to Zen. He has control over the bomb. He could maybe cheekily go for a full buy down on the plant. Although Device is up in heaven, he didn't actually go to wide swing and peek in. So Zen has a chance now. He's not just got the plant, but he's managed to scurry away from the bomb. He's about to get pushed, though, from multiple angles. Before it gets tested, there's the first headshot. 3 kills on the board already. He picks up a 4th, spins back around, and it's so close. Zipex takes him down.
But the problem is, it's the consistency of those players. Dupree has been absolutely destroyed by grenades. That almost looks like predictive grenades. Like they're putting them into position to try and deny the aggression of this side. Emmy's also found an opener, and they know he's here. They're prepared for it. They're just pre-firing the angle. He's had to flee. Vince, they are ready for what Astralis are attempting in this round.
As he said, it's prediction. It's just straight up anticipation. Where are Astralis likely to push now that they're feeling the heat? They'll try and take some outside control. Well, how do we bypass that? Tons of grenade, tons of bullets. Astralis already a player behind. Dupree on 4 HP. And as I touched on before, the overall money count is $200 collectively. This is where that Zen heroic play with the 4K at the end of the last round could come full circle, break down the Danes once again. And Madden with his entry onto devices, making it more realistic. Dupree fully flashed. He's absolutely irate at that outcome. And Zipex can do little with the AK, but just hold on for the save. Post plant comes up, and GODSENT, not only will they pick up this round, but it's looking good for them to hold on to all of their weapons here, Tom, unless Emmy goes peeking and dies. But this is well more worth to take away the AK from Zipex than 2 or 3 lives. GODSENT should be chasing him down. They know where he is. There's 2 players at a low economy, but 3 that can easily...
The last 2 were decent. Especially on the first, he put up some real numbers. Magisk left completely blind, though, and Emmy with a double entry. Which one of these is the 4-time major champions, and which is the guy who's just joined a team on trial? Because Emmy is tearing the new one. The CT side was what garnered a lot of their success. Here comes this execution again, though. This time, though, it's Magisk. Dupree helping along the way. There's going to be a trade eventually, but it's too little too late. Farlig, 1v3 situation. Vince, he does, however, have the bomb.
He does have the bomb. He has time as well. And he could go where Zen has gone before for it. They've gone for the booster check down on the doorway side of the stairs. And the decon stairs now will show its hand. Mages tosses in the grenade, softens them up, and then finishes off Farlig. And the loss of Madden's life will make this that little bit more tentative for GODSENT. They look to try and re-emerge, re-engage, potentially going up the vents towards A site. Flashbang through. An important moment in the round also goes against GODSENT, and that could be the round slipping and sliding away.
Oh, the flashbangs. They are beautiful. Sticker, man. He has a lineup for everything. He'll put you in place. He'll set you up. And he'll leave opponents on the deck. Another entry for Emmy, but that one was for free. Glaive, though. He's found 2 back in response. And a couple of low players still make this an opportunity, Vince, as we enter a 2v3.
Low HP, though, on 2 of GODSENT. Farlig and Emmy both struggling. Zipex drops down. He's accepted his fate, but he'll lose some health due to gravity. His knees will be buckled, but so will Astralis. Madden comes out swinging with the AK, and Astralis's somewhat resurgent streak has been brought to an abrupt halt, has been derailed. And I thought Glaive, with those 2 lightning-fast frags, was going to dig this out of the ditch. It wasn't to be. 2 rounds away from a huge upset.
Honestly, I think I want Sticko to be the best man at my wedding. I don't think you could ever get any better support. Like, I'm sure the stories he would tell would be marvelous, and well, the dude would just prop you up. It must be magnificent just being Emmy in that situation. He walks around a corner, his opponent starts shooting at him, and he goes, oh, he hasn't been able to see me for the last 3 seconds. I'll just shoot him in the head and walk on like it was nothing. The guy is so good at playing these roles, and there is no doubt that Sticko over his career has not got the credit he deserves. Last couple of rounds, we've seen some incredible flashbangs. Madden, I think, threw one as well to get them the second entry into this site. And that's what makes this team truly devastating. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of selfish players in this roster. They are willing to take the roles needed for them to win. And that is why they're challenging one of the best teams of all time. GODSENT 14-11 up. Sticko straight through the smoke. Frustration for Magisk. There's nothing you can do about that. And while Glaive's going to be forced into the corner, he has a smoke, but he's just going to burn to death. He accepts his fate. I don't know what the decision was there. He thought he could escape the flames, and instead it's falling apart. Sticko's also gained a lot of control while here. And a double AWP. If the bomb goes down, it's over.
Oh no, just everything's going wrong. Dupree shot between 2 of them. That's a shot he's got to land. If he wants to bring them out of this, the jaws of defeat, he has to apply the pressure, and Zipex is doing everything he can. There's the wall bang through the box into the cranium of Sticko. Cracks it open. surgical precision. Finally, Astralis starting to connect the dots. Such a strange clown shoes kind of round before that with Glaive dying needlessly. But it's a 2-on-2. This round's not done. Oh, Zen! That one tap is something sublime. And it puts it down to Device. After a godly performance on Dust 2, he will have to be omnipresent one more time. And I don't think he's interested, Tom. He's going back to save. Astralis will be trailing 15-11. GODSENT are so close to the finish line.
Who would have thought going into this series that the Puggy map would be won by Astralis 16-4, and the two maps renowned for their tactical bases, two maps that Astralis have been legendary.
A damage is good. The follow-up damage is there. Glaive kind of unfortunate not to get the outright frag. He dropped Emmy to 9. Another nade, this time lands on Zen's face up on Silo. He's down to 65. So in terms of the opening start, Astralis couldn't really have asked for too much better other than a straight up kill, which won't be forthcoming from Zipex, who has the scout alone on ramp. Needs that backup to arrive. Has stalled long enough though that Device can now move into position with the AWP. He gets flashed out of his spot and ramp will fall. But that's only part of the puzzle. GODSENT have got to connect the rest of it. They drop down. They'll be facing off against Zipex. He misses. It's going to be another miss. So many misses for Astralis, and that will cost them the B site.
Dupree, the nade is going to do some extra damage. He actually denies the plant, and Device has caught another one. It might not be over just yet. It was looking like a good stance here for the side of GODSENT, but it's starting to slip a little bit, especially with Emmy. 9 HP after the initial duel he took with Glaive. Not much utility remaining, though, for the final players. Currently sit within the server. Farlig with a single HE. This angle normally pretty good, but taking so many angles at once could be tough. Farlig actually removes one of them. He gets them a little bit more control and sets them up for the 3v3.
GODSENT brought back down to 2. Time ticking away, but Csgo comes out with 1, and there's Farlig. It's down to Glaive. He's been tagged down to 35, and that's gonna be it. The upset is here. GODSENT take down Astralis. Can you believe it?